Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Subscribe, comment, and like without smashing anything, and let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Cancer. Cancer, we've already pulled your overlying and underlying energies. We got jumpers out of the Akashic deck and the Universal Law Tarot deck. Quite a few cards came out that are already telling a story. I want to get these energy oracle cards so I can see exactly what kind of details there are in this story, to see if it's just like a normal thing or if it's an ugly thing. I don't know what that is. Let's see what else comes out for you. Asking for some cards for Cancer from the Energy Oracle, some energies that can help us with the cards that have already come out for the messages, please. Else today besides one card. All right, if I don't get any more cards on this pass, I'm gonna pull 4. Okay, I'm kind of curious what. Oh, great. Okay, all right, we sort of know what's going on here. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. All right, Cancer, let's talk about your overlying energy first, okay? So for the overlying energy, we got 2 cards to come out of the Akashic deck and 1 card to come out of the Universal Law deck. The first card that came out was the Ark of the Covenant, right? So this could be like working with, professionals to seal contracts, to execute contracts, to draw up contracts. I don't usually pick up this card as this. It also, the meaning for this card is also that you're kind of going in the way that you're supposed to go kind of thing. I'm picking it up as both. So whatever is on your path, you are living true to your karmic contract, but that there also might be contracts involved, and I'll tell you why. So also from the Akashic deck, for the overlying energy, we have the 6 of Roses, which is the War of Roses. I've talked about this card before. To me, this is a divorce or some kind of altercation that requires for people to, again, dissolve contracts, write contracts, split up their money, work with lawyers, professionals, to try to affect a situation, right? And then we have the Law of Intention, which is this card. Actually, the description on it says give up complaining. I feel like, again, both messages on this card are for you, meaning that the Law of Intention is telling you to use, in this situation that you are in, to use your intentions, to be intentional, be intentional on what you do. Do not move on reaction. The Law of Intention is telling us to give up complaining. In other words, something that we would do normally that would not affect a change. Complaining doesn't usually affect a change. It's our actions that would, affect a change. Complaining is kind of a lazy way of affecting change. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to keep talking about it till someone else changes. But a lot of times the reason why that is happening to the point where you're complaining is because you're allowing that thing that you're complaining about. So part of that is you needing to use your intention to affect the change so that you're not complaining anymore. So stop complaining and also use your intention to affect the change, okay? So that's the overlying energies for you, Cancer. And then the underlying energies, again, quite a few cards came out. We've got 2 for the Akashic deck and 2 for the Universal Law deck. So the King of Roses came out. So we have War of the Roses, and then we have the King of Roses. So again, I feel like this is a giant argument or a fight or a divorce or something that's happening that this person is in with someone else who currently is not on the table yet. And this person is trying to get through this the best they can without being affected too terribly. The situation itself before this came up, this giant situation, before these contracts needed to be looked at, was already an ordeal, but now the person needs to kind of move through that so that they can go through another ordeal, which is basically like splitting everything up, ending the thing, right? Because they are already, whoever this is, it could be a man or a woman embodying this King of Roses energy, but this person is already the King of Roses coming out of this War of Roses, right? Moving towards the divine physician. So someone who already is strong, has integrity, is loving, is caring, is exiting a situation where they weren't finding a lot of that like match there for who they were. And the thing is the reason why they have to get out of this now is because they're going towards something greater, and that person, that other half of theirs right now, is not coming with them. So moving towards the divine physician could be a healer. It could just be becoming better at whatever it is that you're doing. Most likely has something to do with like health or healing, but could really be anything as far as this card goes. This is basically like a step up from who we are. We're already someone great before we even, get out of this and move forward, do the work to move forward, but we are moving forward towards this type of thing, right? And we also have, so first, for the underlying energy, the Law of Abundance came out for this Universal Law Tarot deck. Open your mind to prosperous nature. I read it as open your mind to preposterous nature. But a lot of times when we're trying to affect change, when we're trying to grow like into abundance type of thing, a lot of times when we're looking for something more, we dream small. And so I feel like this card is saying, I get that you've been through like all this, but don't dream small, right? Law of abundance, prosperous nature, preposterous nature, right? That's funny. Also, we have the Law of Correspondence. So this says, see life as the ultimate mirror guiding you to the highest version of yourself. So again, I was picking up this like mirror energy in your, kind of like when I was talking about the underlying energy of this other person that's not coming with you. Again, this person is inadvertently showing you that they're not coming with you by either the actions that they're making, that they're allowing you to see, their intentions, or just by the fact that every time they move, by move I mean, in any situation act, it kind of brings up the fact that they're not heading towards where you're going. They're not even really where you are. They're not even a match for this King of Roses right now, but definitely not a match for the divine physician, and they don't mind showing it through their actions to you. It's even a possibility that where they think that you're going might be considered preposterous to them. So Cancer, we also have some energy cards here, which are interesting, actually, because normally I just flip the cards like when they're upside down. I just flip them upright. I'm not really inclined to do this. All right, so the first one that came out by itself was indecision. So I can see how, again, we're talking about this dissolving of this situation here. It might not be extremely clear. We'll have to see what stage you are in this, as far as if you're like in the beginning of it, or if you're at the end, you've already seen the worst of it and you're getting out of it. Again, either way, you need to use your law of intention. You could end up making things worse for you in your situation just by not paying attention to what you're putting out there. Again, as part of the reading and the underlying energy, we've already addressed what the other person is putting out there. Don't be a mirror to them to the point where you're affecting their behavior. Use your law of intention to be you. Don't be them, right? And don't allow this indecision to like change who you are, change the track that you're moving on, or to change anything about what you feel in this situation might be true and just. You might not be getting the full story from someone. Even if you are, you might not be getting the true story. So not the full story, not the true story, perhaps. So we also have second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So this is kind of like our passion, our creativity. This is right now the thing that is telling us that we don't want to be in the thing that we're in. This is the thing that's screaming the loudest within us, telling us that, hey, you know, this is not really what I wanted to do when I got into a relationship, and then giving you the fuel to want to go ahead and just try to get out of it whatever way you possibly can. If you have to rip some things apart, you're willing to do that at this point. And then we also have, so first chakra, Archangel Michael. So he was upside down. We're not going to put him upside down. But I feel like this thing is affecting like your stability, your comfort, your, you know, maybe you had double something and now when you rip it apart, you're going to have like one of something. Again, this is all needs to happen. It's not like, you know, if Cancer, if you feel like it, like if this is a breakup, let's say, if you feel like this breakup is, you know, a mistake or something that like you're going somewhere in your path, like any, you know, even when people don't feel like they're on a spiritual awakening, sometimes they can feel like they're going in the wrong direction. These cards, Cancer, are telling you that you're not going in the wrong direction, that no matter how bad this situation feels as you're exiting out of it, that you're going in the right direction, that this was meant to happen, that you kind of chose this for yourself so that you can move through it, so that you can learn something. And I always say, figure out what it is that you've learned. You already have all these intentions on the table, these laws. You have abundance. This correspondence, again, is like showing up to me as like a mirror of how are you corresponding with yourself? How are you corresponding with others? Are you living true to being like the King of Roses, or are you buying into being like the War of Roses, right? Because you could still be, you could come out of this thing kind of like, you know, tangled up in some ideas that maybe aren't true, maybe are specific to this situation, but you're moving away from that. So we don't want to hang on to anything, which brings us to this attachment card, which was upside down. I feel like you kind of already know, even if you might still be a little attached in the situation, I feel like you kind of already know that there's certain things that you either can't or don't want to take with you. And you're kind of ready to let those things go, even if you're not 100% sure what all of those things are. We also have financial constraints upside down. Again, usually I would turn this upright, but I don't feel like this situation is causing the financial constraints, like how sometimes I say like people are bringing stuff from one situation into the other and it's causing the financial constraints because they're bringing blocks into their new situation, kind of thing. I feel like we're walking away from the financial constraints. I feel like this is one of the reasons why we're fighting, right? Someone is using the money. Maybe it's the money, maybe it's everything. Law of abundance is on the table. Maybe they're using all resources in a way that they either weren't meant to be used, or that they're not being, I was going to use the word frugal. I wasn't meaning that. For some of you, it might be that somebody isn't frugal enough. But for others, it could be that somebody literally just having a lifelong party, right? Just one thing after another, spending money, not really realizing maybe how much money there is, or how much money they're bringing in, or what they're bringing, you know, in general, as far as the mirror goes. Like, what does it look like? Does it look like somebody's just taking care of them all the time, they're not giving anything back? Or are they using, you know, these resources to help others? Like, what does this look like exactly? And even, you know, again, through the War of the Roses, if the King of Roses doesn't want to use his resources in the way that this other person is using their resources, then it really doesn't matter what it is. It would be time to split them up and let that person do whatever it is they're doing. I would love to say that, you know, it's all harmless, but we have attachment, we have financial constraints on the table. So this could be your attachment, or this could be their attachment to trying to use resources in a way that you don't want them to use them, which is affecting the stability. You're getting out of that. That's why Archangel Michael is upright. Yeah, that's why. That was weird. Decide if I'm going to leave those cards on the table. I think I am. I would like 2 more, though. We've got 3 more. Okay. All right, let's see what's going on. So yeah, you're coming out of that, which is the reason why we're up right here on the chakras, but you might still have like a chakra that might need attention after all this because of the things that we're going through. We haven't even really talked about like the emotional aspect of this. Sure, we have attachment on the table, but a lot of times I don't think of attachment necessarily as the emotional aspect of it. We could be attached to anything out of habit without actually having like an emotional attachment to it. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Okay. So we have a moment's regret, nostalgia, idealizing the past, fearing you've made a mistake. This is what we're talking about. You kind of sitting around being like, am I doing the right thing? This doesn't feel right. The reason why it doesn't feel right is because it doesn't feel good, right? It could even be that you're really not ready to make this split. This might not have necessarily been you that initiated this split. This might have been the other person. And I always say, like, if someone's trying to leave, let them go. If the end result is that they're going to go anyway, and they're going to take a bunch of stuff with them that you want to keep, you know, including like the integrity of your heart, then it might be better to just let them go now. Again, you still have the law of abundance and the law of correspondence here on the table. Are you trying to send a message to this person who needs to exit that you want to continue going in the same way that you were? Because again, ultimately you can keep trying to perpetuate this cycle, and ultimately you will end up here. Even if you're like, oh, we're going to do this peacefully, you're going to end up here. It's going to end itself. So we also have belong to your own dream, create your own life. Again, this is like when, you know, we don't believe that we have, like we are something or we're moving towards something. We don't believe it because either someone told us that we weren't very good, or we just went through something that we can't really see, like the light at the end of the tunnel for us. And so we look at things kind of in this dismal way and think that, you know, oh, well, if I was forced into this situation, I must be forced into all situations, which is not necessarily the truth. This is telling you that if you have an idea in your head about what your situation should be, to belong to that, to embody the energy of that, to follow that idea. And then of course we have follow the white rabbit. So curiosity meets opportunities. So again, this card's been coming out a lot, and it's basically like, if you see an opportunity, take it. If you're exiting the situation and you see an opportunity to do that, take it. If you've already exited the situation and you see something coming towards you, you see that opportunity, take it, because you still have abundance coming towards you. You might even have an actual message coming towards you, this law of correspondence, even if it's just somebody showing up later on who shows you that you're not a bad person, that shows you, like, is that mirror to you to show you who you are, as opposed to that mirror that's been showing you who they are. And then so you can actually see that whatever someone else has been saying, if you've been attached to an idea that's not correct, like say about yourself or what happened here, this person might show you, you know, that what you're seeing is not necessarily true, right? It depends. Again, I don't see too many other people here on the table like I see you. I don't even see the significant other, except for I see Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel. So sometimes they can be other people in the mix. You know, this card, the correspondence card, there's 3 people on it. There could be other people in the mix. There's a person on this indecision. It's maybe that this other person that's in the situation is indecision. It's a possibility. You'll have to kind of take it as it resonates. For the most part, this card is just coming out as like somebody is bringing doubt, and it might be through an attachment to an idea you have that's an old idea, or that's not even a good idea. And then you have, okay, so this is nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, elemental messengers. So this is my You Are Special card. This is kind of like you have some kind of gift. You're an empath or a light worker, but you have other gifts that go with that. So you either can like talk to animals, or you can talk to plants, or there's something about you with this card that says that sets you apart from, let's say, the other people that are having a spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening itself isn't necessarily on the table, except for we do have the divine physician. So that's like growing. And then we have this abundance here, and this King of Roses here, which I kind of consider to be, you know, of a someone of a higher caliber. This isn't your like toxic friend that you have that sometimes pops off at certain, no, this person has integrity. This person is somebody that you want to be friends with. If this is you, you know it. If this isn't you, then this is someone coming towards you. This is another person, not the person you're leaving behind, but someone else coming in, again, with possibly a message, this law of correspondence, or just to show you what you look like in their mirror, right? And then we have messages for a rabbit, service to the animal world. So again, with the animals, but this is my empath card. So empath, special person, animals, plants, divine physician, all on the table, right? So Cancer, you know, I want to reiterate that no matter what kind of chaos, sometimes believe to your own dream, oh my God. Sometimes belong to your own dream can be, you know, you needing to believe that what you're moving through is natural, it's normal. It might feel bad, but it's definitely been already set up. You may have made some changes in your free will that caused certain things to be in a way that perhaps they weren't necessarily going to go before, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to gain from that in some way, that you won't benefit or grow from that change, right? It's basically just telling you that you're living true to your karmic contract, that you have done what you said you were going to do, and that you're literally taking out the trash from your past situations. Okay, we just dropped 2 on the floor. What were they? Attend to the details. Last quarter moon in Virgo. So there might be a Virgo involved with you, Cancer. It's telling you to look a little bit deeper, especially if you have an idea, again, of what you think was going on in the situation. I don't think you have the big, you know, the big picture and the little nuances that put it together to make you understand the situation wholly, which you do need to understand the situation wholly so that you can move from that from the King of Roses to the divine physician. I really feel like if there's any kind of attachment or anything that is back there, that it would need to be resolved before you move forward, because it's part of this. It's part of, you know, what we said this was, getting through it, getting out of it, becoming something else. We also have full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. So we got last quarter and we have a full moon, which basically is kind of telling me the ending, like you guys already know, right? And then let's see if we can get one more moon for Cancer on the table here. One more moon, please. Let's see that card. What is that? Last quarter moon in Pisces, talk less, feel more. So again, not necessarily being attached to an idea that came from someone else, letting things go, literally taking out the trash. I am ready to pull your blind spot, Cancer. I want to see what else is going on, what might be keeping us from actually being able to move forward through this. I mean, I see enough places that could trip us up with the indecision, and follow the white rabbit and messages for a rabbit can sometimes even look like a double empath card, because we have this rabbit here. But when she's white like this with red eyes, that's you, the empath, for sure. And then you still have this like law of intention, so you can still use your intention in ways that you don't want to. And then you have talk less and feel more, which again means that you could say something to make this situation worse. If someone else is doing that, don't buy into what they're doing. Just breathe through the tension, see their intentions, breathe through the tension, and then see their intentions for what they are. And again, I'm ready to pull the blind spot on this, Cancer. I want to see what's holding us back. If this is your reading, meet us over at the extended. If not, until we meet again,